Hey everyone, it's Allie, and with Season 3 of Last Epoch coming up in a few days, we are getting new Primal Items added into the game, and these things are going to be straight up broken. While some of them are going to be kind of whatever or niche, some of these are going to allow for brand new builds that were never possible before, and you're going to see some very broken things coming up in this new season. I want to talk about them a little bit, give you some build ideas, and just highlight all the broken ones that are just going to do something really stupid. Before we talk about them, we do need to talk about the one limit that they have. You can only ever equip one of them. In Season 3, you can turn a Tier 7 affix on one of your pieces of gear into T8 affix, and you're limited to only either having one Tier 8 affix or a Primal Unique at all times. You can't do both, you can't mix and match, it is just one of the two. Honestly, it's a good thing that they did that, because if that limitation wasn't put in place, some of these items would combine together into just straight up breaking the game. These items are going to fill in quite a lot of niches. For example, if you're crit builds, you don't really have a good amulets, but you can now consider True Sight Glass, which just makes your crits crit more and have a lot more multi. If you just want a really strong defensive item, Blossom of Immortal Stone is just insane, and it makes any sort of armor build just become significantly tankier while freeing up a lot of suffixes that you might have otherwise used for resistances. Architect of Ancestral Blood is amazing in any sort of low life builds because it's just an exsanguinous but significantly stronger. Butcher's Crown is another great example for any sort of attack or cast based build that struggles with mana, as this on its own might be able to completely fix your mana problems. A lot of these are just neat items like that are really desirable and really fun to put in, but what I want to highlight here in this video are some of the more broken ones that I'm really excited to build around. Now, first off, let me introduce you to your new froggy best friends. Chorus of the Anurok is going to be one of the most broken items that has ever existed in Last Epoch. This helmet, I can guarantee you, is going to likely be the meta starting build that a lot of people are going to play, and it's for good reason. Not only is it going to be very fun because it replaces all of your companions with frogs, but the scaling on this item is just downright broken. The frogs themselves gain 3% more damage per 1% minion AoE, and the helmet itself comes with up to 45% for free. If you combine this with a necklace and a glove roll, your frogs just have 400% more damage, which on its own makes them very, very strong. Did I mention that you're also going to have 10 of them at all times? So yeah, your army of frogs is going to do quite a lot of damage. The cool thing is that the devs decided to also add in the Land Before in literally the same season, and this is not a primal item, meaning you can just get 4 additional frogs from this, and then when you combine it with all the other plus companion on the new Beastmaster tree, which got completely reworked, we're looking at a really solid build. If that wasn't enough to sell them on how strong they are, their scaling per point of attributes is the most broken thing I've ever seen in the game, and these are just straight up the strongest minions available. They gain 4% minion fizz pen per strength, 4% crit multi per strength, and then 1% flat crit chance per attunement. If you grab yourself 50 dex, that's just 200% crit multi. If you grab yourself 100 strength, that's 400 minion pen. And if you grab yourself 30 attunements and then a little bit of percent crit chance on your rings or in your passageway, they're now just crit capped. It is very easy to put together a disgusting build with this, and it's likely going to be what I'm personally going to be playing as my starter. You can very easily get some pretty decent attributes, meaning that these things are going to do some very dumb damage. If we want to look at their auto attack, the tongue slap, it does 30 flat fizz with 100% effectiveness of add damage. And if we want to compare it to a very hard-hitting minion auto attack, we can go look at the necrotic beams from Wraithlord, which, well, have 40 base fizz with 200% effectiveness. The point is that while sure, it is only doing about half the damage of a Wraithlord necro beam, you have 10 of these, meaning you are going to have some very, very dumb damage. If that is enough to sell you on these, all minion AI was reworked in Season 3, making them significantly more aggressive and a lot less prone to just getting stuck and rubber banding back to you and just being overall a nuisance to use. And the frogs themselves have a 5-second leap attack, which is just going to make them feel insanely good at clear. I'm looking forward to this, you're looking forward to this, and we're all going to become frog gamers in Season 3. Now, if you're not a frog gamer, that's okay, because there's quite a lot of other pretty broken items in here as well. Let me sell you on Legends Entwined, which is an item I'm very much looking forward to. This ring does one simple thing. It allows you to complete set bonuses without needing to wear the full set. There's quite a lot of potential use cases for this, but the two that stand out above the rest is going to be Shattered Lance and Velatra. With Shattered Lance, You've always been forced to use both the weapon and the relic, which are two high value slots. Sure, the whole set crafting thing helped quite a bit, but not being able to use unique items in that build does suck quite a lot. You can now just use the ring and then use the relic, and you can now play any weapon you want with Shattered Lance, which is going to be significantly more damage for that build than it ever was meant to do. Your other option, if you're okay with the damage you're doing, is to drop the relic and put on a Vessel of Strife instead, and now just have thousands of ward, which is going to make you very, very tanky. I'm looking forward to both of those versions, and it's likely going to be in my second or third build for Season 3 because there's quite a lot of potential here. With Velatra, you have two really interesting options here as well. One, you can either just use this on a mage and use a helmet, allowing you to then run whatever other weapon you want, such as a ladle, which then allows you to abuse a 2-set with spark charges and fragment the enigma to make that build do even more damage. The other really interesting use case is that you can now use Velatras as any other class because you can just use the staff and then use the ring to make up for the helmets, which is class locked to mage only. The only real class that would be interested in using this would be Primalist, but given that this is a pretty disgusting amount of extra added damage they can get, I'm pretty sure you can make some pretty dumb builds with all this added damage. No matter what you do with it, it's just a cool item. It also has a lot of other use cases in other builds, such as in Void Knight Auto Bomber. This is likely going to be a pretty strong late game item, allowing you to put on a Bastion of Honor while keeping the 2-set active or even the 3-set. And I'm sure some other builds are also going to find some pretty nice use cases for it as well. Finally, the last item I want to quickly highlight here, which is a very fun item, but I feel like needs a little bit more help to really shine, is going to be Wildfire Embers. This gives you a 30% chance every second to just spawn a wisp next to ignite enemies, and then every time you attack, those wisps have up to a 12% chance to repeat your skill for you. On top of that, this also gives you a way to scale your ignite chance off of stacking fire res, meaning you can play some sort of ignite build with this, generate massive ignites on your own, and then the wisps help you with clear, as the 30% chance should proc per ignited enemy. Or, which is what I've personally been looking into quite a bit for this, is just putting on the amulet for the sake of spawning the wisps and having them repeat your skill for you. This is pretty interesting in something like a Heartseeker build where you already had a chance to ignite anyways, and this would allow you to then just trigger more Heartseekers, which gives you more burning arrows, which gives you more total hits, which then triggers more dragon songs, and later on, when you swap over to cold, you can spam trigger the Reign of Winter bow at an absurd rate. Overall, it's a really neat item, and I'm a big fan of what it's trying to do, so it's going to be fun to build around with it in the future. That's all I really want to talk about in this video. I just want to give you a taste of the Primal items, give you some build ideas to consider and to think about, and to get you excited for the upcoming season, which is releasing in a few short days on August 21st. If you have any questions or would like to discuss any of this further, feel free to leave a comment in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to help you as soon as I can, or you're more than welcome to come on my Twitch channel and ask any of your questions there as well. With all that said, I hope you kiddies enjoy this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you all in the next video.